News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Mourning with Peter Christian.
The communities around Seeley Lake are in mourning today. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Mourning. It's Friday, November 18th, 2016. Sky mostly clear. It's 22 degrees in Missoula right now. Roads in the area mostly bare and dry. There could be some patchy fog in some areas. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Ponderosa Dental, just off Reserve on 3rd. When you think of a great smile, think of Ponderosa Dental, proud corporate partner of Grizzly Athletics. The communities around Seeley Lake are in mourning this morning as two men who worked for Pyramid Mountain Lumber Company were killed in separate accidents less than 4 hours apart. The Missoula County Coroner has released the name of the fatal one-vehicle rollover near Lake Alva on Thursday morning as 60-year-old David Solom of Condon. The cause of death was ruled accidental, and the Highway Patrol Trooper Rob Strouch was the investigating officer on the scene.
The vehicle was southbound on Highway 83. Crossed the center line, went off the left side of the road and overturned, and the driver was ejected. The roads were wet, they weren't icy. Not sure exactly why he went off the road.
Strouch looked for signs that a deer might have jumped out in front of Solom's Jeep Cherokee.
Well, I checked both sides of the roads and only found one set of deer tracks in the immediate vicinity of the crash, but I don't think it would have played any part in this crash, even if it was. But he wasn't going very fast. He was going below the speed limit, is what my estimation is.
The sheriff's office also released the identity of another Pyramid Mountain Lumber Company employee who lost his life on Thursday morning after a vehicle he was working on fell on him. He was identified as Philip Pullman of Seeley Lake, age 66. The cause of death was accidental. Both Solom and Pullman worked at Pyramid Mountain Lumber Company. The Missoula County Sheriff's Office responded to Seeley Lake with their chaplain, according to Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett.
The mill closed down temporarily, so we weren't able to make contact with any of those workers. But, we just asked our local community to keep them in their thoughts, keep them in their prayers, because they are a hurting community, and to keep in mind their families and coworkers.
On Thursday, it was announced that Blackfeet tribal community leader Eloise Cobell would be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 2014, the Payne Family Native American Center on the U of M campus dedicated the Eloise Cobell Land and Culture Institute. Terry Payne, for whose family the Native American Center is named, shared some of his memories of Eloise Cobell.
I'm thrilled that Eloise is being recognized finally at the highest level that is awarded to a civilian by the United States. I saw Turk, her son, about a week or two ago, and he was just delighted with the recognition that she's receiving and the memory of all of her fine work.
In 1985, Cobell brought a class action lawsuit against the U.S. government, claiming that the Interior Department obtained royalties worth billions of dollars that legally belonged to Indian tribal members across the country. Payne said it was Cobell's energy and tenacity that saw the decades-long lawsuit finally come to fruition.
She clearly was the leader, clearly drove the battle to its ultimate victory, and had such remarkable tenacity, all the while that she was engaged in other activities. During all these struggles, she donated a kidney to her husband. She was a remarkable woman, and I've never met anybody like her. I admired her tremendously.
In 2010, the lawsuit was settled for $3.4 billion. However, Cobell died before the first payments could be distributed to tribal members. Montana Department of Corrections Director Mike Batista says he'll step down as Governor Steve Bullock meets with his cabinet members about whether they'll remain for his second term. Batista told the Associated Press yesterday his last day will be December 31st. The 57-year-old said he plans to retire from state government. Bullock spokeswoman Ronja Abel said the governor is having conversations with all of his appointed directors about their desire to serve in his second term. Abel said the governor deeply appreciates Batista's dedication to the Corrections Department and the work he has done. Batista has led the Department of Corrections since Bullock took office in 2013. Before that, he headed the State Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation. He also worked in intelligence research at the U.S. Department of Justice. A legislative committee is recommending the state spend $1 million on suicide prevention efforts over the next 2 budget years. The interim State Administration and Veterans Affairs Committee yesterday suggested appropriating $500,000 for the state's suicide prevention program, another $500,000 for grants for suicide prevention programs for military veterans. The funding amounts could be changed as the bills move through the appropriations process during the upcoming 2017 legislature. There were 555 suicides reported in Montana between January 2014 and March 1st, 2016, including 121 military veterans. On Wednesday night, Missoula police were called to a local casino after patrons there witnessed something suspicious. Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has more.
About 8:38, officers were called to a location in the 3400 block of Mullen Road where a citizen had observed a handgun fall out of another patron's pocket, which caused him alarm and some discomfort, as well as another person that was also clued into it.
When police arrived, they confronted 31-year-old Brad Bevel.
Officers responded and made contact with a 31-year-old man and discovered that he was a sex offender that was required to register by state law, and he had not done so. They also found that he was in possession of what they described as a BB gun.
Bevel was arrested on 2 counts for failing to register as a sexual offender and for carrying a concealed weapon in a prohibited place. By law, Montana is obligated to have a balanced budget, but to have a budget that fits revenue can be tricky, and it requires the state to make fairly accurate revenue projections. This year, the Legislative Fiscal Division predicts the state revenues will grow between 2017 and 2019. This optimistic forecast comes on the heels of 2016, which is a difficult year to interpret. Bureau of Business and Economic Research Director Patrick Barkey says revenues for the state this year look like a recession, but the answer to why they were down isn't entirely clear.
They're negative. I mean, if you're going to look at like fiscal 09 and fiscal 10, those are both years, especially fiscal 10, which straddled calendar. I mean, that was a situation where revenues were down, approaching $150 million. I think the revenue decline in fiscal 16 was on the order of $75 million.
Barkey says the drop in revenue for 2016 was pushed by a number of factors, but that individual income tax returns were particularly weak, and the answer as to why is hard to ascertain.
So we're left to speculate how much of that is due to downturns in energy industries, how much of that is due to things that really don't have anything to do with the job market, even things like pension disbursements. And there's a lot of things that go into that. It's a hard number, so there's no inaccuracy in the data, but the difficulty is interpreting what it means.
This time around, Governor Bullock's office is projecting a jump in revenue from $2.1 billion to $2.45 billion. The forecast assumes that all Republican and Democratic legislators hope that Montana's economy will grow stronger over the next biennium. Our News Talk time now, 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Patchy areas of freezing fog this morning, then becoming sunny this afternoon with our highs in the upper 30s. Patchy freezing fog tonight, otherwise mostly cloudy, lows in the 20s. Saturday, highs will warm into the 40s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.